Audio check, starting soon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this award-winning show that you watch every day called DYOR Live. It is Thursday, May 22nd, 2025. Good things going on in the markets. Ooh, I got a feedback. Good things going on in the markets. Bitcoin's going up like crazy. Let me get my list of things here. BTC, another massive overnight gains if you were trading last night. In the financial markets, bond yields are soaring because the U.S. Congress passed their part of the big, beautiful bill, which is a tax cut bill, which the markets took to question the finances of paying down our debt, so bond yields soar. We got some news about SafeMoon. SafeMoon is in the house again, or in the news again, not for anything good. And today, Sui gets hacked. I shouldn't say Sui gets hacked, or Sui, however you want to pronounce it. I pronounce it like a pig. Sui! Anyway, Sui's DEX, Cetus, not Cletus, but Cetus, gets hacked for $200 and some million. So that's in the news. And it caused Sui to tank, and it caused me to make a few bucks on the rebound on that. So we got a good show for you today. The pricing here for Bitcoin is up right now because Pedro is not. Pedro's dealing with a long phone call. He'll be on the show in just a minute, but like I said, we got a good show for you today. Thank you everybody that's already watching us on Rumble and YouTube, Twitch, and X. That's where we're live today. We haven't broadcast on LinkedIn for a while now, but we're going to be putting some Swamp Creatures on there. Speaking of Swamp Creatures, there's going to be another episode of Swamp Creatures coming out tomorrow, I believe. Tomorrow, lots of good stuff. If you missed their past episodes last week about the Stablecoin Act and the Genius Act, you should go back and watch it. Very, very good in describing the issues with each one of them because they're different and they're backed by different people and they have different strategies. And then, of course, episodes 2 times ago was all about Bo Hines, the leader of the President's Digital Advisory Council. Not to be confused with David Sachs, the crypto czar, crypto and AI czar. But Bo's been going at it, doing good stuff behind the scenes and letting Mr. Trump take all the credit, which Mr. Trump is good at doing. And so those are 2 great episodes of the Crypto Swamp Creatures. But let's get at it today here with what's going on in Bitcoin. If I can get to the charts here. Oh, look at that. I blew the open. There we go. In Bitcoin, as if you can see this chart here, let's move to the 15-minute chart here. If you can see here, overnight, another, let's see, here. Overnight, we pumped up all the way. The spot market pumped to 112,000, new Bitcoin high. And then, you know what, if you look at this 15-minute chart, we are flagging out a little bit. I'm not really good at that. Kind of doing that, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Let's hear from you viewers out there. Who's watching us right now? Let's put a word out. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Please comment, like, subscribe, follow, share. Share is very important. Comment again. Just do it. Let's make sure we got the pump it up going here. You know what? I have the music and the sound effects on the same slider here. Which is not what I want. Not what I want. Let's get the yeah going here. Try to power it up again. There we go. Means the market's going to pump when that happens. Bitcoin's sitting at 111,400 essentially. All good things going on with the Bitcoin here. Let's go back and practice our top-down analysis of it. Pedro has been teaching me also what I've been learning from Crypto Lifer as well. Yesterday we talked about the daily chart still being in a good position. See if I can get it here. Still being in a good position. I remarked that it was getting a little too far away from the 21-day moving average here. I've got too many screens open here. I'm just trying to figure out how to do this so you can see this the best. How about if I blow it up a little bit? Anyway, where this orange, this is the 20-day or 21-day. I don't know how I have that program. It's 20-day moving average here. The daily was getting a little far from it. It's kind of condensed a little bit. Even though yesterday we went up, it brought the average with it. So the average is kind of tracking it, which is a good thing. Gally, be quiet. The dog. So I said to be on the lookout for the daily to flag out and consolidate a little bit. I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't correct. It went up again yesterday. Let's take a look at, hey, Crypto Night. Thanks for joining us, Crypto Night in the house. Appreciate it. Pedro will be with us in a few minutes here, so I'm taking over the top-down analysis. I've been practicing it. Today actually let's talk about that a little bit. Today is the first day. Today's the first day in a long time that I'm trading Bitcoin with actual money. That's right. That's right. I've been trading if you've been listening to me, I've been trading the demo account. I've been trying to work on my strategies. In the past, I was getting, if you listen to the show for a long time, I spent time in the commodities and futures markets a long time ago, in the 80s and 90s. And I spent many years out of it then, obviously, in the manufacturing business. And the crypto here, I traded degen style for a long time and made a little bit of money, lost a lot of money, made a little money, lost the usual story of degens. And then, of course, we got going with the show here. And for the first year and a half, I handled the production of this whole thing, made it very complicated, and Pedro handled the analysis of the markets. And I didn't listen to him. As soon as he started to talk, I mean, I sort of did in conversation, but I didn't listen to his trading strategies. This year, I said, no, I got to listen to his trading strategy. So I put some time in to listen to Pedro and actually trade. And so I started out just trading a little bit of money, and then I turned one $200 account into $1,200, turned another $1,000 account into $2,000 or something like that. Used that money to pay some bills, and then got back into it again, and didn't do so well. I found that if I didn't stick with it every day and be focused, or at least focused during the day when I'm trading, I didn't do very well. Not well at all. Like anything, you got to focus on it, right? So I went back to the demo account, and I'm not going to pitch BidFi right now, but I was using their demo account, and learned two different strategies. I learned the one strategy was what Crypto Lifer calls his model, and I learned that, and that is that on the 1 minute chart, it can be on any chart, but I started on the 1 minute chart. When the price action comes up above the 200 SMA, and it brings the orange line here, the 20 period, up into it, and they cross, and then you have a flag likely to happen, and you trade that on the short term, and that was going pretty well in the demo mode, and then I can't remember the other one off the top of my head, but that's not the point. The point is I went back to just practicing two things that I know, and I did that for the past couple of months. Did pretty well, and so I said, all right, it's time to see what's going on. I funded the account behind me. I can't see it because Pedro's window is on there. With $1,000, and I've got a trade on right now that has $100 in margin in it. So just today my account is up 10% from $1,000 to $1,110, which is a nice start to the whole thing here. Let's update this Bitcoin price here. Why isn't this updating? 396. Oh, there it goes. Just updated. Anyway, and I have a trade on right now. I used $100 in margin, and what's my leverage? A 30x leverage, and I'm up $11 in it right now. I think I've already taken 20 bucks out of it. But I can't tell from the screen, and I'm not in the position to change it right now. Joshua, thanks for joining us, Joshua. Pedro will be with us shortly. Pedro got turned his car into a pile of junk the other day. It's a nice way to say he got in a car accident. Drew Down 87, thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thanks to you Infineon people for coming over. We like to talk about Infineon and everything that's going on. Matt has been a friend of mine for, I don't know, 4 years or so. I've known him for a long time. And we always want to talk about what's going on with Infineon. So if you got some news, put it in the comments. We will feature it. I'll get Pedro to go over that chart later. Of course, there's Carmen Crypto in the house. Carmen, good morning, Chumbalones. Who's coming to Bitcoin Vegas? Not me. I really want to go to that. I really want to go. Yes, Pedro's okay. What happened is Pedro, and he said this on the air the other day. I'm not giving out something that he hasn't said. A car came out through an intersection, and Pedro avoided that car, but he hit a pole. So he didn't hit the car that ran. He did the old, bam, hit the pole, and messed up his car. It says something, I don't have it exactly right, but he was fine. Pedro has a very thick skull, and it's a big skull, and he just bonked his head, but he's fine. Airbags went off, did their job. Wait, I don't know if the airbags went off. They should have. If he hit the pole hard enough to total his car, I'm sure they did. We'll quiz him about that later. Anyway, let's get into, Joshua says, he took one for the team. He did. Carmen Crypto says, I'll be speaking at the Litecoin Summit after the BTC conference. Cool. Let's, in fact, while we're at it here, let's get the old, well, I need to, let's see what the Litecoin price is. A Litecoin's gonna be huge. Litecoin trading at $100. $100. Too bad Litecoin didn't appreciate like Bitcoin did. Do you like that though? My graphics just instantly changed as soon as we talked about it. Been working on that a while. 4 years. All right, back to Bitcoin and our top-down analysis. Infineon is sending a crew to Vegas. I asked Matt about the last time he went to Vegas. Carmen says, so many side events. I need to come on and do a debrief with you, Tom. Anytime, Carmen. Anytime. We're always looking for people from Micronesia to come on the show. Yeah, Joshua, if you don't know Carmen, Carmen's been a co-host of our shows here for a couple of years. She was on it for 2 years for me, as I did it very, not every day like I do now with Pedro. Carmen and I did many shows together, hundreds or more. And Carmen has as they say, a big girl job in with the On-Chain Foundation now. And lots going on with her. So Joshua, get the crew. Carmen, I'm sure Matt's going out. Just text Matt. Find out about it. Bitcoin now at 111,647. My trade's up $16 on a $96 risk, which is good. Anyway, let's go back to the top down here. Like I said, starting with the daily. I think I got to get out of the way here. No, this is good. Starting with the daily here. All right, sorry. I'm monitoring the audio studio feed for when Pedro comes back. But he's not there. All right. Anyway, so the daily's looking good. We're looking probably, what we want to see here is just a little bit of a consolidation here. Right here. Probably from down in this area. What I don't want to see is the price action come back down to here and get this kind of triangle. That's not good. As far as what Pedro's told me, I'm not an expert at this, but we'd like to see this thing here and this flag, kind of flag out here, the 21-day kind of come up here, the 200 get a little closer, and then of course it do the up only thing after that. That's what we'd like to see. Anyway, it's not overbought yet. Looking down here at the Stokes, which I can't tell, is it right behind me or not? This is good practice for me. Yeah, right here. It's not overbought yet. I don't see any divergences I need to worry about. I'm really bad at divergences right now, so someone might look at this and go, obviously, Tom, there's a hidden this and that and this and that. I'm not good at it. I've got my divergence chart up here. I'm learning. It's really confusing. All right, let's hit the... Reach out to the gang in TG. They have a live at 6 p.m. It's not EST, it's EDT. Remember, everyone, part of Indiana, part of Kentucky, and part of Tennessee do not do summertime, daylight savings time. So they still do Eastern Standard Time, which would be 5 p.m., and you'll get that wrong if you have your computer set that way. I always just use ET. Just use ET. Back to the charts. Let's look at the 8-hour chart here. Oh, this one doesn't. I'm using the BidFi chart right now. It does not have. Anyway, 8-hour chart looking exactly like the daily chart. Remember, I'm sorry, the 12-hour chart. Remember, two of these candles form one daily chart. It's looking the same way here. Stochastics, they're up. It's not overbought yet. Still got time to either rise more or flag out a little bit here. The RSI is up. And price action is above. Nice. Price action is above all the moving averages that count. The 200 here is on the bottom, and the 100, the green is 50, 20 is orange, and then the purple is the 8 period. So as far as the 12-hour goes, bullish. Bullish. Let's go to the 4-hour, see if there's any difference in the 4-hour. Get rid of these lines. I don't. 4-hour also looking good. Although the 4-hour to me does look a little overbought. It's been up. The Stokes have been up for 2.5 days, but it's forming a little flag here on the 4-hour. Can't discount that. That's a good thing. Quite the bullish thing. Let's see, divergences, if I can practice those. Let's see. Yeah, everything's still good there. Looking good there, looking good. Let's head to the 1-hour here. 1 hour looks like it's bullish here, again above all of the moving averages. Stokes are low, getting ready to come back up in a buy situation. Only thing I'm afraid of here, I shouldn't say afraid. What I don't want to see is price action to bring the purple here to cross down over the 20 here, and then you're looking for. Let's see if I can draw that instead. What I don't want to see is this moving average do that, and that moving average do that, and cross, and then it'll change the concept of what's going on here. But as far as the 1 hour is concerned, looking good, and is the reason why I have a long position on now. Move down to the 15. Let's see how the past couple hours have been doing for the markets. As far as I'm concerned, this is good. Good here. Remember, everyone, I'm learning this and I'm filling in for Pedro while he is He is dealing with the insurance companies and the popo. Anyway, the 1 hour looks good here. Same reasons as we were talking about before. Stochastics are on the way up. Looking good for long positions, not looking good for shorts. RSI is good spot here. Above all the moving averages that matter. Let's see, we're above the 200, above the 100, above the 50, above the 20, and the 8 is right in there on price action. So looking good. Looking good, although my earlier I was up $16. Now I'm only up $9. Let's hit the 5-minute chart. Remember, 3 of these 5-minute charts equal 1 candle on the 15-minute chart, so they build into each other. Let's see, the 5-minute chart, not looking as great. Not looking as great. Price action is above all the moving averages, but stochastics show that it's coming down right now. There's probably some bearish divergence in there somewhere that I don't like. Price action doing this, but at the same period, stochastics are, yeah, that's not really down. It's kind of flat, but that's probably also bearish. Let's see, let's look at the chart here. Price action still going up. The top of the stochastics is flat. It's bearish divergence. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna close my trade out and get back in a little bit when it's It's amazing how as soon as you put your order in, it drops below it because they want you to chase it. It's like every time. Just did that to me again. I put it right in at the market, and as soon as I put the order in, the price drops. I've done that 6 times today. It's exactly the same on every trade. Anyway, I'm just going to put that in at that level and not worry about it. Let's check the 1 minute here. The 1 minute chart, it's depending on how you trade. There is not a lot you can do with the 1 minute chart. Most people are not 1 minute chart people, but it's obviously it's come down in the past 10 minutes here, from 111751 to it's dropped 400 points in the past 10 minutes. Remember when that used to be a lot? Bitcoin's up 400 points. Oh my God. Anyway, stochastics are low, which we could see a turnaround. We'd like to see this gray, the gray line here that you probably can't see that well if you're looking on your phone is the 200 period moving average. We want to see the price action stay above it. If it comes down further, we want to see it bounce off and go back up. If it drops down through it, we're likely in for a little bit more of a down spell for the next hour or so. So we need to watch that. I don't have my heat map up. I don't have book map up right now, but this pattern looks just like here yesterday. Oh wait, this is the minute chart. That was earlier today. Looks like a pattern that happened yesterday, and then it bounced right off the 200. Let's zoom in on this and make this bigger so we can all see it and see if it does that. So what we want to see here is this 200 period moving average. Very strong indicator, this 200 period moving average. And the one above it is the 100 period. And it seems, at this point, it seems to be bouncing off the 100 period, which is good. Oh, nope. Let's see as soon as I spoke. Nope. Anyway, with the volume dropping down the past few minutes here, means fewer traders or market makers have an influence on the market. And so they'll play around with it. So what we want to see is watch it to see if it comes down through here. See, it will affect our short-term trade of mine, which is now I'm only up $5. These big positions. Big positions really, really make you out to be a big trader, huh? Anyway, let's take a moment to talk about our crowd out here. Let's see who's watching here. Thank you to everybody watching on Rumble. We really appreciate it. Rumble has been our #1 platform lately, coming in with usually 2 to 3 times the viewership of YouTube. And that's mostly because we can say whatever we want, and on Rumble, it doesn't derate you for what you say. We talk about China, we talk about politics and things like that. YouTube says, you're talking crypto and you mention political stuff. It's not good, so they derate us. Not demonetize, just derate us. Not berate us. Anyway, my boy Pedro will be here shortly. Also, thank you to everybody coming in on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Twitch, we got some viewers on Twitch, and of course X, as always. Thank you everybody on X. Put this comment back up there. Welcome everyone. Please comment, like, subscribe, follow, share, comment again. Just do it. If you're watching live, drop a comment here. I'll respond. If Pedro was here, he would respond. No, what is... Hold on, I do need to look at something here. Coin, Gecko. Screw you, Google. Oh, wait, I'm fully integrated. You know, I don't use... I rarely use Google search anymore. I pretty much only use Grok. And on my phone, I have the app, so you can just talk to it, and it talks back to you. It's rather fabulous. Here, let's look at... oh, wait, hold on. Let's look at... here, Bitcoin has dropped below, traded below the 200 period moving average here. We want to keep that in mind. We want to see if it's just going to hang out there or if it's going to drop down below it. Usually you want to get 1 or 2 candles underneath on the other side of the 200 moving period average before you take action. So I'm going to watch that closely here. It looks like it's going to keep dropping below it. And now my $6 gain, or $16 gain, has turned into a $1 gain. We'll just let that one cook for a while. Let's see who's in the house. Mikester over on Rumble. Thanks for joining us, Mikester. Really appreciate it. Well, we got baby Draco in the house coming to us from sucker-free city of San Francisco. Otherwise known as Jesus from Peru. Joshua, are you now the Borg? You are now the Borg. You've been fully assimilated. I use Gemini on my phone too, but it doesn't work as well as Grok. You know, I put the Solana price up there. What I wanted to put was the SUI price up there. SUI! Llama. Baby Draco, Athenian's official mascot. Llama, please. Resistance is futile. Exactly. Exactly. All right, so where did we leave off here? We got the Infinian crew in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Thanks for you guys coming over and spending your time with me. I'm hoping that Pedro comes here soon, but he needs to get... once you get on the customer service line with the insurance companies, you've got to see that to the end. Anyway, I've got the SUI price up. SUI. Down. Here, let's bring the SUI chart up. Let's look at the 15-minute. Let's look at the 1-hour chart here. And notice the lousy price action, meaning the down price action. for SWE, because what happened with them? What happened? Pumping up nicely, doing everything. Bitcoin was up, everything was great, and all of a sudden, boop! What happened? This happened, SWE. We've learned that CETUS smart contract, that's their DEX, was hacked this morning for approximately $223 million. And CETUS subsequently paused their smart contracts to prevent further theft. Another good one for Rugged, Ruined, and Wrecked. Our 3-season show all about rugs, ruins, and getting wrecked in crypto. CETUS worked together with the other DeFi protocols, the SWE Foundation, and the SWE validators to collectively protect the ecosystem. A large number of validators identified the addresses with the stolen funds and are ignoring transactions on those addresses until further notice. The CETUS team is exploring paths to recover those funds and return them to the community. Now, this is interesting now. What kind of intelligence did we gain from this? It means that on SWE, they can essentially block any transaction. Go to get enough validators in right away, and they will not validate the transactions coming from that wallet. That means essentially a central authority can come in, and if they can block it, that means they can probably reroute it and seize funds too. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Crypto Knight says, SWE having a bad day. It was a bad day, but what happens after a hack? Yeah, this is the hour chart. Let's get the 5-minute chart here. So on hacks like that, there is always some good news mixed in with the bad news, right? And so when I learned about it already after it had tanked. It had come down all the way down to here, and then was just consolidating a little bit here. And then the news cycle started about the funds being frozen. I'm like, this is the time to buy. It's going to pop here a little bit. And so I took out a 50x leverage trade using $94 of margin. And it popped right up. As soon as I cleared, I made $100 on the trade. So I made 100% on the trade. I sold it, and then it's starting to droop down again here and lose a little bit of it. So there's opportunities in getting wrecked. Can't let these opportunities go. Not at all. Nope. But it looks like I bet SWE there'll be another announcement later in the day. Oh, my battery's gone. I gotta switch microphones, ladies and germs. Oh.
Check, audio check, 1 2 1 2. I knew the batteries. I gotta wear a wireless studio. Battery was at 1 bar. So I went to go get the AA batteries to refill it. And the last of the AA batteries in this. Check, audio check. Damien Weewell, when will DYOR token reach $1? Well, there's a number of them. Damien, there's a number of DYOR tokens. There's the old DYOR project, which I have not been affiliated with in a long time. You know what? This audio sounds like shit. Give me a second while I change my mic here, ladies and gentlemen. Check. That should do it as far as the microphone. That's a lot better. All right, now I just can't move around as much. Anyway, we were talking about SWE and the opportunities that present themselves. Hey, DYOR Baby, thanks for joining us today. Pedro will be with us in a little bit. He is dealing with the aftermath of wrecking his car, which means long phone calls to the insurance companies. But SWE likely will recover just nicely. Everyone loves SWE for some reason. I've never been on the SWE train. I like to call it by its pork name, SWE. And as a result, I obviously missed out in massive gains. Let's look at the long-term SWE chart here. Let's bring up the daily. As we can see, just a few months ago, it was trading at the 35 cents level. It's done a 10x in just a few months. In fact, it was up higher. It got to a high of 50. That's about a 12x. Everyone did great on it. If you don't know who Marty Party is, and his Twitter Spaces that endlessly pump SWE, they did very well. He warned everybody in October last year. He said, "Look, it's gonna 10x. He's going to do it." And everyone's like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." Especially me. I was like, "How's it gonna 10x?" Boom, 10x. 10x. DYOR Baby called it in January too. Anyway, their daily chart, as much as it, even after the wreckage of today, it's a non-event. If you zoom out and look at the big chart, it's really totally a non-event. Just provided a little volatility, and day traders love the volatility. Sweet. BB Draco says, I should say Jesus says, Infineon is next. Oh, we'll do it. Bing! Infineon is next. Okay, so get a bag now before you regret it. But you guys got to get the word out. So going to Vegas and telling everyone about Infineon is a good thing. All you got to do is meet the right person. That's that right person. Anyway, the daily chart for SWE looks really good too. The stochastics are low right now. Let's see. Let's look at the divergences here. Price action is going. Price action. Let's do it as Pedro would do it. Actually, let's do it like Crypto Lifer would do it. Price action going up. The top of stochastics going down. That would be, let's see, that's the top of price. Let's look at the bottom of price action. This is actually bearish divergence. Okay. Maybe I'm just stupid then. So the bottom of price action going up and the stochastic staying flat. That's hidden bullish divergence. If we do it from the bottom here, that would be hidden bullish divergence. But it matches, you know, whether you do it from the, I'm doing it here on the bottom of the stochastics. If you do it from the tops, it's different. Price makes higher low. That's okay. SWE's done that. Indicator does a double bottom, and that's kind of a double bottom right there. Although if you go back further, let's see. Yeah, it's confusing for me. I'll close my mouth about that for now. But anyway, SWE on the daily chart looking good. Let's go back. Let's go to the SWE weekly chart. Usually a better indicator. That's got moon written all over it. It's just the weekly chart's forming a, you know, rising wedge in a good way. If volume comes up, if volume stays up, it'll break out going up. If volume goes down, you could see a boop and a drop off on it. But once the SWE DEX gets its shit together, I'm sure everything will be fine. Let's rerun this. Hey, this is pretty good. I've been up here 45 minutes now without Pedro. And having a decent show. And normally I suck when I'm on my own. Let's see what the crowd has to say about that. Our largest crowd right now is on YouTube, which is good. Remember to like and share, comment. Really appreciate it. For those of you watching on Rumble, hey, share it with your friends. Rumble's been very good to us, and we were official Rumble creators for a while, and then I went on that 2-month walkabout around the country. Not screwing off, just doing stuff. Oh my gosh, I think Chuck Jansen is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Where is the Never fear, I am here, Chuck says. Markets are beautiful. Infinite Army is out trying to spread the word. Fire Chicken is still here, acting as your Solana ETF. Thank you very much, Chuck Jansen, for the $10. We really appreciate it. As I always say, we thank you for your hard-earned money, that we are doing something that's good enough to separate you from your money, to take the money out of your pocket and put it into mine. Yeah, baby. Woo! $10. But the most important thing about those super chats, if you guys don't know, is that it shows the algorithm that something good is going on here. It knows that it's not bot viewers. It's not some village in the Philippines just clicking like that for trending and that type of stuff. It says there are actual people who like the content, and all is good here. I just saw a comment come and go. Did we get something moderated there? Wolfie, welcome to the house. Oh, you deleted your message. Everything is better with Infineon. All right. Let's go find you. Let's look at. Well, before we go over that, let's go back to Bitcoin. My trade is back up to $9 whole in profits. Let's see. This is the... Bitcoin doing what we want it to be doing. Yeah, this is exactly the pattern it was following the other day here when it came up. This is the 1-minute chart, so these things repeat themselves endlessly quickly. Came up here, dropped off, we'll call it twice the price action. It pumped up here. Say it pumps up, I'm just going to make up numbers. It pumps up $10, then it drops $20. It goes up 100%, drops 200%. And then starts to recover, and they've cleaned out a couple of longs, cleaned out a couple of shorts, other way around, and then boop, goes up again. Let me get still have SWE on there. Let's get the Bitcoin price. All right, let's get the CoinGecko in. Infineon, there it is. Infineon's up. Let's see, what is their API? I use an API to CoinGecko to get my prices. Let's just put that in here. First I did the copy, not the paste. All right, where's the best place for me to find your guys' chart here? Let's see. In Aeon. Let's see. Here's their website. Look at this. Let's see. I've got the price rounding to 8. Let's unround that. Whoop. All right, I'm just going to use the Coin Gecko chart here. Crypto Knight says a deck screener. Let's go to deck screener. Yes, I'm a human. I'll move my mouse. That's there. We got 2 pools here. Let's just pick that one. This is the Infineon on ETH. Let's see what the comments here say. Deck screener, CMC judge. Stupid East Coast keeps dropping my sell signal. Tell us. All right, here. Let's see. Got to mention Lunar Pump Fund. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute here. Chuck says there is an Infineon USDC pool that adds to the volume, and Bitmart is live. Bitmart, all right, that's cool. As Draco says, it's the new place to launch tokens. If you're watching this, everyone make sure you hit the live button. Some of you may be a few minutes behind. Hello, Vincent. Vincent from Nigeria, lives out in the Delta in Nigeria. Very, very, very poor place, unless you're one of the people that owns the gas refinery there. And we're helping Vincent raise some money to buy a laptop so he can get a job in Web3. Sorry, Vincent, I went on vacation there in the middle of that fundraising thing. I'll get back at it here next week and see if we can get you a laptop. All right, let's look at the chart here for this is the daily chart. Let's get it down to the hour-long chart here. See what's going on with Infineon. All right, let's do some technical analysis of this. I'm pretending to be Pedro. I'm not as good as him by about a factor of 1,000,000. As you can see, Infineon down a lot since its launch. Had a crazy launch day. There's always craziness in launches, that type of stuff. They've also moved liquidity around too, especially on that first day, I think, or first week, if I'm not correct. So it makes the beginning of the chart just look ugly. So we'll just ignore that first part of the chart. We're at the lows right now. I don't have my stochastics up here. Let me get those types of things back here. No, that's not what I wanted. Candles. Indicators. RSI. All right, stochastics are down right now and starting to rise. That's good. Good thing. Volume is a little low. Obviously, everybody wants lots of volume, but that's what their Lunar Pump Fund is for, to bring volume to the whole thing. Let's see. If I were Pedro, I would be looking for where liquidity is, and we're at the low and taking the liquidity on the downside. It's a tough one for me to figure out because I'm not experienced with looking at these younger charts here. This is the 1 hour. Let's get a smaller time frame here. All right, well, what we have here on the 15-minute is what we just call a cup and handle here. And that's good for pumpage. You can see that I'm not going to draw it here because I guess I can draw it. Oops, drew it the wrong way. Got the cup here. Got the handle here, and if you're watching Crypto Lifers channel right now, he would be doing that's a cup, Sammy cup and handy, which usually means that these things pump. The distance, if I recall, the distance from the bottommost part of the cup to the topmost part of the handle. So that would be that much. I think this is the first time I've ever actually done this. So looking for a price rise up to 910 from 765 to 910 based on me kind of incorrectly reading a cup and handle, but that's looks like what it's going to do if you just rely on the charts. Chuck says a lot of the pre-sale dumpers are gone. Few bots have sold out. Looking forward to these next few weeks. So it counts. You know what? I hate project launches. I made a rule to not get in on project launches a while ago, not because they didn't do well and I was getting wrecked. It was too emotional. It was too emotional, and you get too worked up about it. One of the things that I did is I said, all right, if I'm going to get involved with something, I'm going to wait till it's established and see how it's doing. And by then, the Jeets are out. If team members have had tokens that weren't locked, they've sold and taken their money. All the things that make you emotional about this stuff are gone. And now later in the project, you just worry about whales that are too big dumping one day. And if you wait longer in the project, even that doesn't matter. And so I kind of stopped with it. But then I got involved with another project that I'll not mention just because it's nothing bad happened with it. But I got in on the launch of it. And all the people that were talking, we're in it for the long haul here. We're in it to win it. You know, we're not here to sell on the first day. You know, and the owner of the project, he had his pre-sale on too long. The pre-sale was too long. Got a lot of people in the pre-sale and dried up the demand for it on launch day. And so on launch day, every single person that said, "Oh, I'm in it for the long term," as soon as it didn't 10x, they dumped. But they only dumped the tokens that they had because the owner wisely didn't distribute all the tokens at first. He did it slowly. But anyway, it was too emotional. I'm like, it can't do this. It's too emotional to be on these things. And you guys have seen it in your TG. Whichever project you're in, you've seen it in your TG. Launch day is crazy. It's fun. Everyone hopes for that 10x, and everyone thinks they're going to sell, but only the first two guys that dump a lot of tokens, they put the lid on it. It doesn't 10x. It might not even 1x. And in fact, it might negative x. And you get the Jeets to sell at a loss. I didn't understand the project I was just talking about. All these people sold at a loss. Nobody got, there wasn't a private sale, tokens way down here, so that even if the chart goes down, they make a ton of money. The chart opened where everyone bought in at the pre-sale price, and they sold it off. And you're like, what the hell's up with that? It's like, ooh, I can't wait to get it in this project and sell on the first day at a loss. Yes. Lock your tokens in 6 months staking. Works. Arjan, Moon Girl in the house, or Arjan in the house. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Got some new viewers today. Thank you very much. Normally, I have a co-host here, Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. He is not in the house today. He was supposed to be here, but he wrecked his car the other day. And he said he's coming on today, but he's on the customer service with the insurance company. And once you get on their lines, you don't get off them. You stay on it until you bug the shit out of it. And Pedro's a persuasive fellow. Very persuasive fellow, and if you get him, he's probably working the insurance companies over for a lot of money. Anyway, Infineon with a $2 million market cap, 24-hour volume of $13,000. That's not that bad. That's not. Obviously, you'd like 24-hour volume to be like $100,000 a day, and that'll come when Lunar Pump Fund gets going. The token launching market has been a little dry lately. The regular pump fund has been suffering from, I think they've gone from 75,000 coins launched a day down all the way to like 5,000 for a while. But still, imagine if Lunar Pump Fund even had 500 a day. It'd be crazy. But you need all the kids in Asia to figure it out. Vincent says, welcome, Moon Girl, 100% coming very soon. Draconian's showing up. Moon Girl already out on Lunar Pump Fund. Moon Girl. Draco, send me the link in TG to Moon Girl so I can find it. Maybe I can find it right here. Lunar Pump Fund, ladies and gentlemen. There's Moon Girl. Moon Girl. Beyond the silence of space, something stirs. Moon Girl isn't just a story, she's a signal. Market cap 30,000. Launched 22 hours ago. Yeah, I like the platform here. I haven't seen this new redo of it. Hold on, let me get some graphics up here so you guys can take a picture of it. Where is it? Let's see. Symbol. Let's see. We'll need this one. Now this is a chart I like to see. Launched. Oh, it's not the whole chart. It's just part of it. Looks good. Moving on up to the east side. Joshua says that there's $77,000 of volume on Bitmart. Well, that's interesting. Wolfie, let's go, Moon Girl. Let's get bonded. Let's see, your bonding curve, you're at 88%. That's good. That's good. Let's see, holder distributions. A lot of 3 and 2% wallets in that thing. That's not good. Not good at all there. Whoever owns those top wallets needs to diversify them into multiple wallets. But you know that just helps people looking at that when you have bots, the smart. Why am I forgetting this name? The pages that go through the chart, your project, and give it a thumbs up or thumbs down. Too many 2% and 1%. That's not good at all. That'll get you negative ratings. And I'm guessing, if I'm a smart cookie, those are not all individual people. That there's a couple of people that have 2 or 3 wallets. And so when the price goes up, the selling will be stiff. You guys know the deal. Cut your wallets in half, move them into 2 wallets. It says holder distribution 88 wallets. You'll get 160 wallets pretty quickly if you do that. Bill Drift Break says you can't do anything while it's on. Oh, you're right. You're right. I forgot all about that. You can't transfer tokens until it bonds. Right. It's got to hit the DEX. Then you can do those things. Thanks for bringing that up. I appreciate it. As I always say, like to learn something new every day here. Usually I'm learning something every day new when Pedro is on, giving the top-down analysis of all the different projects. Where's the regular chart here for this? Is there a regular chart, or is this the only chart until it's on the bond? Till it bonds. Let's see. Anyone can answer that? Is there a regular chart, or is it that's it until it bonds? All right. Well, thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. So let's see. What do you need? Let's see. What's the virtual liquidity? 12 BNB. Total volume 27 BNB. Bonding market cap 50 cents. Let's see. Market cap 30,000. And you're 88%, so you need just a couple more BNB in there, and you will have bonded. Use different wallets to buy, buddy. Now I know who all 7 of the top 10 holders are. That's Mr. Car Salesman from San Francisco. All right, later after this, I will become a holder of Moon Girl. Pedro and I, we have a show wallet, and we will use the show wallet to buy a little bit. We buy little bits, the little bit. You see the $20 here, and that's because so many. I mean, if you could, do this thing for 2 years and 4 years here, you get so many people who you talk to, and you're like, sure, I'll buy into your project, and then it never goes anywhere, and you have lots of dust in your wallet. So we have a rule. Just buy a little bit. Build, drift, break. I'm trying to figure out your name. I would think it's related to building a drift car, but it's the wrong break. It's a BR. That would be BRAKE. Right, it'll head over to PCS. But you guys have your own decks, too. It'll be on that, I imagine. How does it work with Lunar Pump Fun? Crypto Knight, buy my token, bro! Graduates to Pancake Swap. Boy, I haven't used Pancake Swap in a long time. All right, let me go back in and check on my trade here on Bitcoin. It looks like it hit my order here. Yep. Bitcoin hit my order. Made a total of $6. $6. How about that? That was the trade of the day. Trade of the day. LPF has 3 chains. Oh, that's cool. That's right. You guys have BNB, ETH, and was it Base is the other one? Solana coming to Pump Fun. Lunar Pump Fun. Excellent. Excellent. I need to pay attention to you guys more. I have, obviously, since the start of the whole Operation Phoenix days. Hell yeah, that'll get you 2 beers. All right, I'm going to look at... So if you're going to... And I know many of you do this, and I'm speaking to you crypto people here, especially you Infineon people here. People that are day traders, which Pedro is teaching me to be, keep a journal of their trades, exactly what happened, the reasons why, the day, all the details that you can build all of your trades and then have a database of trades so that you can go and click and say, hey, you can literally determine that you never made money on a Thursday ever. And so today is my first day trading my live account again. I funded an account with $1,000 this morning, and my account, let's see. My account now, I started today with $1,000. Let's see if this shows up on the screen here. And right over my head here, we're at $1,168. So I'm up 11% on the day or so. Be great every day of your life earn 11%. That's obviously not going to happen. We had some good trades. I made a good trade on Sui. Made a good trade on that after it dumped because of the hack, and made some good money on that. Cleared out $94 on that trade. And then I made a couple of Bitcoin trades and traded just a little bit on Bitcoin, kind of practicing, but I was practicing a lot on the demo account. And so if I close this trade out, I will be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I made 5 trades, won 4 of them, and lost 1 of them. My very first trade. I put in, it was a 4 for 1. I put in, let's see, $46 in margin. $46. And I used 30x leverage. And so I had a position of $1,449, and it hit my stop at $1,400 and closed it out for $1,443. Loss in fees, I lost $8 on my first trade. But on I still have my demo account, and I was trying a 200x long when everything looked just great, and I made $100 on that one. That's not included in this total here. That's just that was demo account. But on the other trades, Bitcoin trades, I made $6 and $9 on also on $40 and $96 use of margin. And so that translated into an 11% win for the day. And it's now 1 o'clock. I'm done trading for the day. You trade in the morning, 7:30 to 10, really, if your trade setup doesn't come during that period. Not really going to happen during the day. It gets a little crazy in the afternoon. And then in the evening. Last night was bonkers. I was trading the demo account, did very well. Wish I had been trading in the real account, would have doubled my money. Would have paid that rent. That's all I want to do is pay that rent. Pay them bills. Funny story. Many of you guys remember Dale Earnhardt Jr., famous NASCAR driver. He has a great podcast now. Just great podcast. He was on with Cletus McFarland the other day too. And Junior's very wealthy and was very wealthy. Even when I heard him do this interview a long time ago. Obviously, his dad died and he inherited his estate. And in his South Carolina or North Carolina, whatever, wherever he's from, accent, he's talking about racing and making money. He's like, I don't need to make that much money. I'm just out there racing. I just need to make enough to pay my bills. That's all I want to do, pay my bills. He had a helicopter, a jet, a race team now, houses all over. I just need money to pay my bills. Okay, the jet's $5,000 an hour. The helicopter's $1,000 an hour. You know? Oh, I still got Moon Girl up here. Now I have Infineon back up there. You Infineon guys are getting all the extra coverage today, but we're gonna bring the Bitcoin back up here. Why didn't that work? All right, let's look at the comments here real quick. Build, drift, break, BNB, Infinite, and base. Oh, that's right, your own chain, of course. Duh is the big duh on that one, of course. How is that chain working out? Has it been very smooth, operating smooth? How's the Explorer? Is the Explorer easy to use like BNBs, like where you can figure everything out really quickly? I remember there was a project, I don't know if they're still around, Mainnet Z, and we got into it because a viewer was like, hey, we're all about it, this kind of stuff. So Pedro and I are like, all right, we covered it, looked at it, and their Explorer was crap. You couldn't figure out anything. I'm like, and they're like, oh, well, we're getting to it. I'm like, just go to GitHub, copy that one, modify it for yours and do that. Well, I don't know. But they sucked all the money out of that thing. Let's see. Let's go over quickly some stats here. Thank you for everyone watching on Rumble. Really appreciate it. You're watching the DYOR live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world. My co-host Pedro is currently off right now, dealing with an insurance matter for turning his car into a pile of junk. He said he'd be on the show, but he's still on a long-term phone call that he can't hang up on. I'm surprised he's not in the comment section here. Anyway, but Rumble's been very good to us. We'll be back as creators with them next month. And once you get on as a creator with them, your viewership goes up dramatically. Baby Draco says the Explorer is pretty simple drop-down menu on the side. If you want to put an address of a wallet, stuff will also pop up. Look at lists of tokens, transactions. When I refer to that, I mean, is it easy to trace money through it? Because what I always like to do is trace the transactions from the dev wallet and see where it goes. It's very easy to find out if there's shenanigans going on. And once you get Lunar Pump Fund going with more things, I always like to look at those transactions because it tells the story. And once you get good at reading an Explorer, it's like the Matrix, just those green lines going, and you can figure things out quickly. It's smooth. All right, once again, everybody on X, thanks for watching. Let's put a couple of comments out there so it... Thanks, Rumblers. Thanks, Elon Musk viewers. Thank you, everyone, Rumble. And thanks to everyone on the Elon Musk's X. Really appreciate that. We don't get a lot of live viewers on X, but we do get a decent replays. The only problem with broadcasting on X, and if you see a lot of the channels that have like, it says like down in the corner down here, it says, 1,500 viewers. And you're like, wow, there's 1,500 people watching this? I can't believe it. That's 1,500 people that have seen 1 second of your show. Sucks. So the views when you see them on X are way out of line. Well, I got too many decimal points there. Oops. Bitcoin at 111,337. Quickly, I wanted to hit some of the other news. I already spoke about the SWE hack. I talked about Infineon at Infineon. Where's the other thing I wanted to mention here? Oh, yes. SafeMoon. SafeMoon. Let's bring the pricing off the chart. Caroni. Hey, did you know his name wasn't John? His name is Braden. Anyway, Braden Caroni was convicted in a U.S. federal court of conspiracy to commit securities fraud, money laundering, yada, yada, yada. He misled investors about access to the token's liquidity pool and used millions in diverted funds for real estate and luxury cars. SafeMoon once reached $8 billion. $8 billion. I rode it from, I don't know, probably 200 million to 8 billion and then down to about 6 when I dumped it. But anyway, a U.S. federal jury has found Braden Caroni, the chief executive of digital asset firm SafeMoon, guilty on all counts. Crypto fraud, misappropriating millions of dollars in investor funds. I realize that the view of the SEC has changed since all of this happened. But the one thing that you just cannot do, you cannot take money out of the liquidity pool and use for yourself. Unless you tell everybody. If it's in your disclosure, if it's in your white paper, if you disclose that, hey, every 3 months we're going to take 2% out and go to Ibiza and get hookers and booze, then you can. Another project did that. I can't remember the name of it. It said that they said we are going to use part of. Oh, I remember it. I don't remember the name of the project, but after the launch of the project, it was one of the pink sale ones. not all the the pre-sale money went into the liquidity fund. And people are complaining, hey, you know, we raised $1 million or 10, let's say $1 million. Only 500,000 of it went in liquidity. Where's the rest of it? And they're like, oh, well, we bought, you know, condos in the Bahamas. And they're like, what? Scam, fraud. And they're like, no, just if you read the white paper, boop, 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 all the way down at the bottom, it says we're going to use 50% of the funds to buy stuff for ourselves. If you do that, everything's legal, as long as you tell everyone. But SafeMoon didn't do that. They took the money, boop, put it right in their pockets. Only Up's in the house. Thanks for joining us again, Only Up. We've been only up this week. Bitcoin's pumping again, and I closed my trade. Darn it. Anyway, still had a positive trade on my first day of real trading. Anyway, Only Up. Let's talk Bitcoin. Only up. Look at that chart. Only up. So this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. As you can see, over the past, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, over the past 15 days, we've had, let's see, what's today, the 24th. It's the 24th, so we've had only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 down days out of 24. So Only Up is the right thing right now. It's a good name because we only up. Let's go back and look at that 5-minute chart, see where things are to the moving averages. I'm guessing we're going to see them. It's in a bull position right now. It is, look at that, in the 5-minute chart, gapped up. Bitcoin just did recently. Stochastics coming up, looking good. The relative strength is rising a little bit. Does not appear to be any bearish divergence or anything like that. As I said, I'm still practicing that. I don't know. Minute chart starting to go parabolic here. That's always a good thing. Here, 1 minute starting to get a little overbought. Draco says, I will add that to Draco's white paper. Look, minute chart's still going. I wish I wouldn't have closed that out. Anyway, I closed it out in profits. I'm very happy that the first day of trading off the demo account and with real money, made 11.6% on the money, and I won't trade the rest of this afternoon. But tonight, Thursday night, going into Friday, oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing something in my ear that you cannot believe. You cannot believe this. Pedro, let me turn your microphone on. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this what's going on with him, but the man, the legend, has arrived in the house.
You know what? What's up, guys? How's everybody doing? Hope everybody's doing. How you doing, Tom? Things going well, bud?
Yep. Let me see if I can get your...
Yeah, I'm coming on right now. You guys should be able to see me in a second.
Oh, that was the wrong button.
You know what? I'm almost making this a game now. I remember when I was a kid, anything that was difficult for me, I used to literally make it into a game and have fun with it, right? But it would annoy people because I'd be smiling and people be like all frustrated. So like I got rid of that attitude, right? But I realized, like I was reading some stuff and they were saying when dealing with stress, one of the best things you could ever do is literally sit there and just see it as a game because it doesn't enact the cortisol level spike, which basically throws everything off in your head, and it basically shuts out your prefrontal cortex, and you go into basically like fight-flight mode. So, like I was sitting there going, "All right, let's go back here again." And so I've actually been it's been kind of fun because it's just like one thing after another, right? I keep dealing with, but it's almost becoming comical to me now. I'm like, "All right, God, we're having fun. Let's do this," and and it's been actually today's been on the phone.
I mentioned to people that you turned your car into a pile of junk.
Yeah. Well, it's still. I mean, it's just topical damage, so it's just like one of those things. But it's just been very interesting dealing with insurances, and I'm working with the police. Where they have city states and police states, or state police and
city police, right?
Yeah, and so when you're dealing with the state police, things are ran almost on island time. Trying to get like a car, and I'm like, dude, do I buy a new? I don't want to buy a new car, and it's just, I'm basically not driving, and like I'm like doing push-ups, and I'm actually missing the gym. I want to do weights, like heavy weights. So, anyways, it doesn't even matter. I don't even know why I'm saying all this. But let's check out the markets here. And
hold on, let me fix your screen feed here. This should be Electron 1. There we go.
Hello. Ooh.
Bitcoin pumping. Oops, that was the wrong button. Let's see, why don't I have this right now? That's my chart. Where did your chart go, Pedro? Pedro, I think you put yourself on mute. I can't hear. Oh, you're that's what happened. You dropped. You dropped your screen feed. I am not getting your screen feed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a minute here. I'm going to refresh the studio software here and see if that's the issue. There we go. It's coming. Pedro seems to be coming back. Give me 1 second, Pedro. 1 second here. You should be able to hear me now again and see everything now. I think you just need to... I refreshed it, so unmute yourself on the studio feed. There you go. I should be able to hear you now, right? Hold on, Pedro. Whatever happened, jacked everything up. I'll have it fixed here. I'm just going to select the right cable here. Cable A. Where's cable A? There. That should do it. Are you back, my friend? Nope. What the fuck? There we go. It's back. Sorry. Don't know what happened there. That was weird.
Sometimes, you know what? When it rains, it pours. And you know what? The best thing to do when it does that is just to dance in the rain, dog. And splash the puddles.
Splash the puddles.
Have time. Just jump in the puddles and have fun. Because sometimes, nothing you can do, dog. And you just got to sit there and you can frustrate yourself while you're in the middle of the rain. And you just got to sometimes just dance in it.
Can you turn your camera so you're in the center of the screen there a little bit? Just turn it so you're like towards one side. Oh, wow, that died again. Your feed keeps dying, Pedro. Hold on, your feed died. Let me reload it. All right, it should be working now. Yeah, you should be good now, Pedro. I don't know why it keeps dying. Your screen feed keeps just going blank. Anyway, we got you here now.
All right, cool. All right, so let's pull up some stuff here that's happening in the market. So yesterday we talked about that I was very hesitant on this rally up, especially when it came to the S&P 500. But we did play if we were going to go up. This is where it was going to go. But like I said, I was hesitant to keep going. And sure enough, we saw the sell-off come in here. And then from there, the NASDAQ, I mean, sold off as well pretty hard from that. We saw it go from 3,100 or 2,100 all the way back down to the low 2,100. So lost about 500 points there, which is about 2% of the day move there. So it's a pretty good sell-off. We're trying to push above some strong moves here on the NQ. Again, this is not financial advice, and this is all social and educational purposes only. Do we have that running right now?
No, but I've had it on and off all the time while I was not giving financial advice, but giving financial advice.
Well,
I'll run it again for a few minutes.
Again, the keyword, don't ever say it. We said these are our opinions.
Oops, wrong one.
We're not advice. We're not giving financial advice. This is simply things, opinions. We're not.
Good news, though. I'm not in the U.S., so got all you guys fooled.
Well, I am.
No, you're not. You're in Ibiza. You've taken Chuck Jansen's $10 donation today and just hopped right over to Ibiza to get your hookers and booze.
And every time we say that, we have to explain it. Go ahead, Tom. Explain why we say that.
I say that because when I was in my armored vehicle manufacturing days, won a big contract with the Canadian government, big multi-million-dollar contract, and my partner who was working at the factory in Dubai, the first thing he said wasn't like what I was thinking. Okay, now we got a plan. We got to get into the business of doing this. He's like, the first thing he said was, we need to go to Ibiza and spend monies. In fact, he used on hookers and drugs. And I don't like to say that, so I said hookers and booze. And I knew right then, at that moment, that I should have walked away from that partnership because it wasn't going to work out. And it didn't. He fucked the whole thing up. Pardon my French. Anyway, as the banner below me says, this is an educational video and not financial advice. Nothing here has been reviewed by any competent authority. That is the MICA terminology for those of you in Europe. And these are our opinions and not anything approved I skipped around on that. It's going slower than I can read. Anyway, with that out of the way, Pedro, the NASDAQ. Today I noticed the NASDAQ was not trading with Bitcoin.
Yes. Yesterday was a divergence.
Yeah.
Yesterday we saw the sell-off, and then we saw a comeback with Bitcoin. I'm sorry, keep going. You were saying.
Yeah, no, I noticed. I was like, in fact, it was this morning when I was starting my trading. I was like, Bitcoin started going like this. The opening volatility was crazy, and NASDAQ is just going beep. It's kind of getting like little 12-year-old. I'm not going to use those words. Oh my God, we almost got the channel deleted.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just. I was like, what? Wait, there's divergence here between the two charts, which is good. We don't always want to see Bitcoin trade exactly like the stock market.
I'm actually really happy with this because this means, right, that like we've talked about. We talked about when this happens. I thought we were going to see a huge sell-off on both with BTC going down to, like I said 40,000. We would see in both BTC as well as the NASDAQ basically sell off hard, right? I was expecting 50% on the NASDAQ, and I was expecting about 80% on 70 to 80% on the BTC chart. Lo and behold, it only sold off 30%. And it kind of followed along with what was NASDAQ doing. So NASDAQ showed weakness. We started seeing a divergence actually happening between the NASDAQ a little bit last week, but it wasn't anything major. Like it wasn't something that was necessarily noticeable, right? But yesterday, when we had the sell-off hardcore, I said, all right, guys, expect us to see the sell-off here. And when we see it coming down at, we talked about this lower area coming down to, which was that 102, 101 area. That's why I drew this out, saying I'd expect it to come back down to here because the correlation with it bucked the correlation and said, forget it. I'm a wild horse. Let me run. I mean, straight up. I mean, it was like, I'm an Aztec warrior. Let me out. No gates, no locked doors. Anybody knows what that's from? That's funny. And then sure enough, we saw this thing bust out of nowhere. And I said, if we close on the green today at a higher volume set, which is what I wanted to see was above average volume. This yellow line that we see here is average volume. So we closed above average volume. And then I said, if we close green up in the upper part right here, and we literally closed at all-time highs of the previous all-time highs. We talked about how, remember, what it looked like yesterday was this. We hit the all-time highs. Let's mask that all up. Okay, we hit the all-time highs, which was about right here. Remember, that's why I do that line. And we saw the sell-off, and we basically had a big hammer or a shooting star. Let me type in what a shooting star is so you can understand what that is. Boom. Can you give me a picture of a shooting star? Because I want you guys to understand what I'm saying. Can you give me a pic of the candle formation of a...
Well, Pedro's grokking something. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for all of our viewers we've had today. Thank you to the Rumble viewers here. It's been a little light of the rare day in which the YouTube viewers have outlasted the Rumble viewers. But Pedro, we had a big crowd today from the Infineon group. Went over their pump fund and their new token that just launched yesterday, Mom Girl.
Okay.
And so we had a bunch of them here today, and some of them are still with us, but a couple of new viewers as well.
Okay.
And I was on the talking game. I was talking. Did the top-down analysis of Bitcoin.
Nice,
talked about today being my first day trading with a new trading account, live account. I funded it with $1,000, Pedro, and I finished the trading day at $1,116. So I made 11.6% on my money today.
I do not care about your percentage. I want to know, did you follow your rules?
I followed my rules only.
I do not care about how much money you make. I really don't. Because honestly, that's irrelevant. If you start to get good rules and you understand that you're following it, you'll make money. But if you're not following your rules, that you can't consistently do something over and over and over, then you're not going to become consistent, which means then that you can make all the money you want, but you know what? You're going to give it back to the market.
Yep. And so
on my trade thing.
Go ahead.
One last little thing. And then you need to make sure with those rules that you are documenting your trades so that you can sit there and gauge from a percentage level. Whereas when you say, okay, I typically have a 40% win ratio or 42.6% win ratio. And when you start to see that drop significantly, like let's say 30%, 29%, then you need to go through, analyze, has the market changed its environment? And that means I need to do more back testing to understand what's going on so that I can adjust my rules based off of my trading style. That was it. Okay, go ahead. That's what matters.
All right, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades today. 4 of them strict models, meaning that, and in one of them, I took advantage of the SWE dump and said, "Oh, it's going to recover here." So I put a little bit of money in on I actually put a limit order in to buy it, and it hit the limit order, went up, and I took my profits from it.
Okay, nice. So it went to the area that you thought it was going to go to, which means that you're seeing the market correctly, right? You're like, okay, you had your stop in correctly. You also had the direction that you thought it was supposed to go. So you're seeing that part. And it may not be, you may not be seeing it correctly, because in 6 months you'd be like, I lucked out on that trade. But the key is that you're activating the reticular, I forget how you said it. It's part of the
Chuck,
trade.
Thanks for joining us today. Chuck's back to the fiat mining the fiat. Thank you very much for your donation today, Chuck. Really appreciate it. I'm going to take that $10 and buy half a beer here in Canada.
Or we're gonna help with that money buy both really bomb computers so we don't have technical issues. yes. Here we go. Twitter, ChatGPT. No.
Can you believe someone gave us a thumbs down on Rumble?
Good. I don't care. Go ahead. Look, I just want you responding. That's all I care about. You give me a thumbs down whether you like me or not. It's thumbs up, thumbs down. It doesn't matter, because that response of you making comments to it still just goes to our algorithm. So thumbs down all the way. Go ahead. I'm cool with it. Right? That's the way it works, right? Or am I wrong?
I have no idea how the thumbs up and thumbs down work on Rumble. Anyway, Jesus, the Canadian beer is ridiculously expensive. They tax, like they say they have no healthcare costs here. Healthcare is free. First of all, it's not. That's a lie. Just some things are free. You still pay for all sorts of stuff, including all your prescription drugs, vision, teeth. That covers your doctor's visit, but not the hospital room. Got to pay that out of your own pocket. But so they fund it by taxing booze. Seems to be good, but it lowers the amount that people drink, raises money for the healthcare system. But you go in and you have a beer, and it's like, you're like, what? How can it cost that much? It's a beer. I mean, things I pay, like I'll pay $20 for a liter of Jim Beam, sometimes a 1.75 of Jim Beam bourbon. And here it's $60, $65, including the 25% currency. Arcade in the house. Thanks for joining us, Arcade, the retro gamer. Hope you're playing a little Galaga or Space Invaders today.
Yep.
All right, Pedro, what you got on the screen there?
Oh, dear Lord. This is so hard. I don't understand. Why is it so hard to do this? All right, let's try this here. And then we're going to sit there.
Moon Girl, ready to moon. We were talking about Moon Girl a little bit ago. Well, at least I was, while Pedro was still on the customer service helpline.
Formation of a shooting star from trading. You know what? Instead of this right here, I'm going to just go to Google because this is just literally painful for me. I don't understand why it should know this. There we go. Images, boom. Here we go. All right. So this is the shooting star formation from the top of the uptrend. So this is kind of what it looked like yesterday towards when we saw the S&P 500 sell off. So we saw this type of thing that happened. This was green. You see how there's no wick here.
Yep.
We saw a similar situation. And so when then came down, and I said, if it ends this way, then we should have a follow through of it coming down here. Okay, that's typically what we see, right? And you can see here, it's prevalent throughout all of trading. It's something so I was expecting things to go down. So that's why I said expected to go down to here, because we had seen the correlation between Bitcoin and with the NASDAQ. But now we're definitely seeing a decorrelation, and it's now creating its own pattern. And I said it's important to see as above average volume. And so sure enough, let's look at it right here. And so towards the end of the day, around 2 o'clock, we saw the sell-off coming right here. It tapped this. We saw a big wick, which was red down in here, right? We saw it come back down, tap this area, shoot back up towards the end of the day into the evening, and then we closed above all-time highs, which was huge. With good volume. Huge with good volume. So I said, with that, expect it to go up. And sure enough, today we saw it go up. We saw it open even, come down, create the seller wick, and then we saw it go up for the day. So that is a beautiful, beautiful play on Bitcoin you could have played today. And I'm excited for our people there. Yeah, and I'm noticing, you're right, we don't really have a lot of people on Rumble.
Hey, could you close your Twitter window so it straightens everything up on the screen?
Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. If you guys could do us a favor real quick, can you jump over there to Rumble, guys, and just hit some of the like buttons over there. We were really trying to build up kind of what's happening with Rumble. And, you guys always help us out when it comes to this. Just go over there and say what's up. Show us some love over there. That always helps us out. Boom. Let's go ahead and pop in here. Alrighty. What's up, Vince? Good to have you. Arcade, retro gamer, laugh out loud. What's up? Moon Girl, ready to moon. Should we look at the Moon Girl?
Already did. Went through that. It's on Lunar Pump Fund, and it's 88% bonded. So probably another 3 or 4 BNBs, and that thing will 100% bond, and then it'll drop over to Pancake Swap to be open for trading. It launched yesterday, and it's about 30,000 market cap.
Okay, yeah, it's small cap. Nice. Alrighty, Perfect. All right, guys. So this is what I'm expecting. Like the next area here is 15,000. Right? So that 15 to 20,000 is the next area. The reason why I say this area is an area of mental. There is no real resistance except for flat numbers there.
I'm going to take a quick break, Pedro. I'll be listening. I'll be right back.
All right. So that flat rate, and I should probably put this here correctly so that it doesn't look weird. Here we go. Settings. We're going to type 16,000. I thought I already did 16,000. Boom. No, not 16,000, 15,000. There we go. So this is what I'm expecting us to see some resistance. But again, we talked about this bull run. Really, I really feel that we're going to get up to that $250,000 mark here for Bitcoin, if not 300,000. And so this is where my markings are at. You can see here that we've talked about this at the beginning of this year into relationship, how the market goes. And so fingers crossed. Hopefully we also have a strong a really strong altcoin season here that will set things up in appropriately for us. And so this is what I'm hoping to see, right? As we continue up here now, the next leg, we should see it go from that 30,000 here real quick. Let's see. I think this was at 50,000. Yeah. So 50 to 100. So we can expect a pullback from 70 to 120 is that real area here, because I'm looking at this area right here. Come on. So from here, from this low to this high right here is what I'm looking at. I'm getting those numbers. And come on. And so this is what I'm expecting here. So that's about 50,000 here that we saw really push up. And so that real mark here is that, it would be about 120 to 100 and, I was like wondering like 132. That's interesting. Why is that? Right here, 49 to, oh yeah, because it was 109. That's why. I forgot. Yeah, 109. So that's more than 50. So yeah, so you'd be looking between that 120 to that 130 area for the leg. This would be the third leg if you believe in Dow theory, right? Boom, and now that the institutions are involved, this would be the first, this would be the second, this would be the third leg up, okay? And so I would love to see, now I'm not much into Dow theory, I'm more just follow the trend until it tells you it's not there. So the area here, you can see here that it's pushing up. It could potentially hit that 300,000. I would love to see a giant just monthly, yearly God candle. And then we would all retire in a bees talking about the market and trading it. Fingers crossed. Okay, let's check out one of the things we've been mentioning is these good old boys right here. How is MicroStrategies working out? Ouch, that sounds like it hurt on his end. Dang, I feel bad for him. Girl co-founder, Arcade. Here we go. What's up, Vincent? Good to see you, brother. You right there, dog?
No, I'm. I was listening to the stream in my ear. So I was behind when I laughed.
Oh, okay. I got you. That's all right. So let's go ahead here and look at some things that I think are interesting. We should see a giant candle here on MicroStrategy, but we're coming up into a resistance area right here of that 44 area or 444.
Pedro, I think you clipped your mute button on.
No, I didn't.
I just can't hear you for some reason. But you're on the stream.
Can you hear me on the stream?
Sorry, I went away to use the facilities, and you're on, Pedro. Go ahead.
All right. So one of the things we're seeing is right here with the MicroStrategy, we could see a sell-off with MicroStrategy just simply because just the whole entire craziness that they're doing. I don't know. We'll see what happens here, but I thought we were going to see a big movement here if Bitcoin really ran. We didn't see it, so it's really interesting to see that there's a divergence going from MicroStrategy, and so I say that because what's one of the things we've been accustomed to with MicroStrategies, or not MicroStrategy, but Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor typically likes to top off, and so I'm wondering, is like something else happening that we don't know that is happening here. So I'm keeping an eye on MicroStrategies. If I start to see it sell off, then I think this is a great shorting opportunity at this level as Bitcoin is moving up and strategies is going down. It's very much like maybe that the institution, they lost favor with institutions, and so we could see some really interesting stuff.
What is the actual name of the company now? Is it Strategy or Strategies? Guess I could look that up.
Strategy. Yeah, it's Strategy, at least on the trading view chart there.
Ah, well,
I could be wrong.
No, I just didn't know. It seems that if it's just singular, you think they only have one strategy. This is it. That's all we got.
We're just buying crypto. That's the strategy.
Buying Bitcoin. That's our only strategy, right?
Buy Bitcoin. Tasty trades. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So the other thing I thought was really interesting is looking at some of these other altcoins here is that we saw Ethereum pop up pretty good and getting up to that 200 period moving average. We should blow through that 200 and get up and touch that 29, 28 to the 30 area, or 3,000 area to the 2,800 area. So this is a nice little sexy area. So if we were able to buy in at these lows of 1492 area here, that 1450, I think the low of it got to 1385. So these low, so you're up almost, what would that be? 50%, right? No, not 15%. Yeah, it would be 2,600. Yeah, 50%. So actually 100%. You're almost up 100% on this trade from April up. So that's pretty nice. XRP, or let's check out BNB. BNB is showing some strength here as well. We were above average volume for yesterday. And we're starting to kind of push up. This is a little worrisome for BNB because we don't have a demand wick. Whereas with BTC, we do have a demand wick. You can see we came down to go up. It's a small one, but it still, showed some buying pressure. So I might see this one continue, BNB, not necessarily push up. But we also understand that this also kind of is, not that it's a meme coin, because there's a lot in Binance that correlates. BNB is definitely one of those coins that is institutional to Binance, but not necessarily accustomed to the stock and the company, right? Or not the stock, but the coin and the company. Just like we're kind of seeing with Crow, right? Crow, like Crypto.com is starting to make a lot of money, but we're not necessarily seeing this that jump in value. And so I actually look forward to, I hope we do see either a stock from the coin or some type of correlation that correlates with the coin to the actual company itself. I know they say it's separate, but it would make sense as we really start to have these type of new financial structures that are happening, especially with the SEC, because the SEC is now getting involved, trying to help out versus just being suppressive towards crypto. So it's going to be really interesting to see the new things that can be created, or new products that could actually be deliverable for people to take advantage as like a as an asset to be able to hold, right? And the fact that a lot of people in America are looking to hold assets, be able to buy these coins at low market caps up of $1 billion to $2 billion, right? And in 10, 15 years, potentially be at 20, 30, 50 billion, maybe 100 or 200 billion, right? I think it's really, really something that would be, I think, smart to do for on the end of the SEC and for people like our generation or lower.
Kraken was announcing today that they are close to being able to offer just a limited supply of stocks via their crypto platform, and it's a tokenized version of the stock. I was listening to Bloomberg earlier talk about that, and I thought to myself, well, that will be interesting because if it's tokenized and just stays on their exchange, it's not going to do much. It's not even really tokenization. But if it's something you can withdraw, like we're tokenizing this on the Solana chain or on whatever chain, it could be big. Even if it doesn't do really anything for the company's stock. The stock market, Pedro, what's the market cap of the United States stock market?
About
trillions and trillions of
dollars right now.
Right. And if they tokenize stuff and people just move a little bit of money over, they're like, oh, instead of putting, they could bring in, $200 to $500 billion to, any particular chain pretty quick, like within a year. Well, I'd buy stocks using on a blockchain. No problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, remember what we were looking at yesterday, right? With Oracle?
Think of the degens. Oh my God.
Oh, bro.
Yo, buying Ford today. Yo, get the hat on backwards. Yo, we're hot on Ford today. Everybody get the influencers on it. Where's the marketing? Where's the marketing on Ford?
Stock crypto Oracle. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Let's pull that up here. I thought this was really interesting. Oracle.
Oracle. O-R-A.
O-R-A or
C-L-E.
C-L-E. Thank you. As you guys know, my gifting is spelling really good. Like I'm phenomenal at it.
Really well.
Really. I'm the best at spelling. That's forgive me for that. Hey, not Kraken. We pulled it up yesterday. Where is it at?
You're looking at that Pyth.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I typed a Pyth. There we are. Yep. Python network. So this was really interesting because a lot of the stocks that are based on the stock market, they are being put on blockchain, and this company and companies like this Python network, they're actually putting the queues on the blockchain, so you can actually have access to live and real data without having to pay for it because it's on the blockchain. It's open and it's free. And so I've talked about this in a few trading areas here, and you can see here it's real interesting. Like watch QQQ, right? This is the actual, and they're pulling data from many other sources on the public ledger and putting it on there, and it's a lot cheaper than bringing in, buying, and selling. And so you can sit there and see here that this is actually looking at the queue. So if we look at this, and then we look at, and this is recently. I mean, I don't know when they fully started. I started going through their webpage yesterday, but you can see here that here's the queues right now. And we'll go to the so this is literally up to date. You can see here that it's at 1355, right? And that is the current market, right? Now, obviously, the pricing is a little bit different, okay? So you need to understand that. But it's still following the cues, like the NASDAQ in its movement. And so when I pull up here, this is the current market. When we go and we look at this one right here, the cues on the NASDAQ, it's going to be 15 minutes delayed. And so this is one of the things that I think is really cool that blockchain is going to bring to crypto or to traditional finance and allow people to transfer and also settlement a price almost instantly versus having to wait 3 to 5 business days. And then you'd be known as a stock pattern trader. And then there are dings, whereas this is going to take a lot of that pricing or the fees away because it can happen instantly.
Welcome Pixie to the stream. Thanks for joining us, Pixie.
What's up? Where's she at? Is she on
X? She was watching us on the X feed.
Oh, nice. What's up? How you doing, Miss Pixie? It's good to see you. Let me go ahead and share this here real quick. Repost. No, I'm gonna not just repost, but I'm gonna say, come check us out.
Welcome to Pixie from the Ladies of Solana.
That is what's up. Miss having you, Miss Pixie. Looking forward to when you can start coming on and having a good time and talking crypto with the good old boys. Yeah. All right. So you can see here, this is right now, and then I'm just going to go to the Q. So we're going to go all. And you can see Qs on the NASDAQ right here. You can see the 2 here, right? And you can see with this one, you're actually behind.
Pixie says she's doing well. Love listening and learning. That's the whole point of the DYOR show here. Teach you, as they say. Don't give a man a fish for dinner, and he just eats that day. Teach a man to fish, then he eats for life. That's what we're trying to do here, educate you.
Education. Yeah. This makes no sense. I'm trying to understand this.
And like Baby Draco, Infineon's official mascot says, otherwise known as Jesus, hit the like and sub buttons. Follow, share, subscribe, like, post, share, comment. Just do it. Damn it.
Just do it. Do it. Do it. All right, man. I'm shocked. Okay, it looks like the Qs are give you up to date movement of the market. That is interesting. I did not know that. I know that when I go to the CME Qs, which is right here, that I am delayed 15 minutes or 10 minutes. You can see right here. But then I go to the Qs, Q, and you can see like that one shows 10 after, or 1350, and this one shows 1400. So that is interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. There you go. I learned something new from here. So yeah, it's actually kind of cool, man. I love that. That means you can actually stop having to pay for all that craziness.
Well, you're looking at it on NASDAQ though, so it's its own product on its own platform. So that it seems normal to me they would show
good point. Spies. You're right. So let's try this here then. So the SPY would be the New York Stock Exchange. So for the SPY here follows the S&P 500, and you can see this is 1400. Okay, so SPY on here.
Yes, Pixie. BTC hit a new all-time high last night on the spot market. Hit over $12,000, I believe.
No, still even SPYs, because the SPY would have been under New York, and the NASDAQ is out in Washington. So they're two different. Wow, did they already change?
I don't think anybody has any idea what you're talking about, Pedro.
All right, whatever.
It's that time confusion thing again?
No, actually, it's a good thing that it looks like that the data that is coming in off of a lot of these ETFs are no longer delayed, but you can actually get up-to-date, moment-by-moment data, which basically means that you don't have to pay for. So let's say you want to trade the options. So many options are actually traded on many of the ETFs.
Yep. Right.
And so you can trade like the SPY ETFs or the Qs ETF options. And we're talking, there's a huge, if you look at KC Trade, there's a lot of trades that are done on that where they literally are like, all right, look, this is what we're looking to do. We think the market's going to go down. So we're going to put a put option here or some type of straddle or some type of like condor or you just basically going naked put there based off see what you're trying to do. But this is kind of how they play it, and so a lot of people use the ETFs for those plays. And you can see right here that it's now up to date, and it used to be about 15 minutes behind. So that 15-minute or 10-minute behind period is no longer there anymore when it comes to a lot of these ETFs, which you can basically just check out and say, all right, what's going on? And look, so I don't know, at least that's what it seems like to me. I need to do a little bit more investigation, but from an analysis standpoint, that's what it looks like currently right now. So anyways, that's in a nutshell. What I love, and then I think this is cool, is that we're watching a lot of the trades that we talked about at the beginning of the year really play out strong, except for my BTC trade of all things. So I think it's funny, right? Like talking about crude oil coming back down to our area here, putting a giant a nice shooting star down here, as you can see, right? Because I showed you what the picture looks like on a shooting star formation on a candle. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, I don't use these per se as an indication of potential market movement. As a general, when you look at formations of candles, but certain candles have a really high has a really high probability of happening based off where they're at in the chart. So if we're at a high and I see it create a new high, as you can see, like this one did, and then we saw it sell off, well, that's a good indication that probably the next day we're going to see it go down, right? And potentially go down to the next support level when you see something like this at the top of a channel, or they call it a hammer. And a hammer is the opposite of that, but going up. Just like a hammer, you have the stick part here, and then you have the top part, right? It's the same idea that you would see. This would be considered a kind of modified hammer, but it would still be it. Like you have the big long wick, and you have this type of movement, so you see it going up. Here's another one. You saw it go up, come down, consolidate, and then right here, you can see here's a hammer, right? And so you can see now it's moving up. And so those are the things I kind of look at for myself, but a lot of the other trading pattern candle formations I don't really look at. Those are the primary ones that I use. I also use Maribosas. Maribosas are, they call them twin towers. So this would be something like you would, I'm trying to think, here's a Maribosa candle where we had a big green day, and then we see a big red day that comes down. Dun, 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 dun,
It's hammer time.
Hammer time. So, or right here, here's another Maribosa, right? Where it overshadows the actual whole entire movement. We had a big push up. We hit the 200 period moving average. And then the next day, we see the sell-off come and completely encompass the previous candle. Okay. And so that's what I'm looking for as like a direct statement of now sellers are in control. And it's all based on where it is on the chart, right? I just don't look at those just, like it's gonna, like that, like here's one, trying to think, not really seeing any good examples. Over here, but it was a peak and we saw the sell-off, but I guess you could do that. So this, I would want to see it more up here. I would want to see a Maribosa candle at the peak where I see resistance is stepping in. That's where I want to see this kick in, right? And that typically lets me know that we're going to most likely sell off. And it doesn't work all the time. You can see here, right? Like we saw it almost encompass, like look at this big green candle that encompasses this whole entire red candle, and then we see the descending from 78 on crude oil all the way back down to the 66, right? And so that's a big change, and so it doesn't happen all the time, but I do use them as an indicator along with my trending and other mechanisms that communicate to me, hey, we're either going to see a reversal or a correction in a circumstance or in a situation in trading. Yeah, so that's it. Any questions? I feel like I'm just rambling here right now. The ramblings of a crypto trader. There was the ramblings of a stock trader. Who's the guy who wrote that? I'm trying to remember his name. Famous 1930s stock trader. Absolutely famous.
It wasn't me.
Yeah. The real Donald Trump.
Welcome to you Rumble viewers. A couple more have joined us recently. Thank you very much for joining us.
Obviously, yes.
Give us a like and a share if you're watching on your smart TV. You don't need to pay the $99 to get an account with Rumble. You can just log in via your Google or Facebook, and then you can like and comment on things. We'd really appreciate that. Some chumbalone gave us a thumbs down, so we need some more people giving us thumbs up. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's how that works. I beg, plead, and grovel for your appreciation and validation.
So when did the thumbs down happen? At the beginning of the show, mid-show?
I don't know. Yes, right when you came on, it came. That's when they thumbs down.
Exactly.
Hey, boo, like, Pedro.
Who's that ugly, big-nosed, long-haired, balding Mexican over there with those weird background of the sunset that looks all pretty and stuff? Anyways,
Pixie says I shared the X link with some of my friends. Thank you for joining us on X. We really appreciate it, everybody.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. Pixie, you rock the mic like rama lama lama ding da dang dong chang 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 wop baba loo bop wop bamboo. Anyways, tutti frutti. Let's get moving. All right. I think what's interesting is within the market, what we're seeing right now, especially when it comes to this market, is just a simple, like we're actually having good volume. Like we're starting to see volume pick up more at the right times. Like I hate it that it's up here, but if this is going to be the next breakout point here, this is where you want to see volume really start to pick up. And I want to see it more like what we saw back down here on May 5th, which is this little, like if you look at this right here, see this candle right here, itty bitty candle, or not this one right here. This candle right here, this itty bitty candle, but there was a good amount of volume here. I remember thinking like, oh shoot, that's not normal. Scooby snack.
Hey Pedro, I gotta take a quick break here.
Alrighty then. So this little area right here, I saw that and I said, look, this is a huge indication of momentum coming in. Now again, this is when I was saying we're seeing a increase in seller volume. Like we could see how seller volume was going up and buyer volume was going down. But this right here, it's a good sign, and this might continue up until we get to here. And the buyer volume keeps stepping up. And if we can really start to see it get up like this, that would rock the mic. All of a sudden, it's at these levels. And all of a sudden, that's just an indication saying this is going to continue. It'll come back down and find support. It'll do this type of thing. It'll go boom, 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 boom. You know, just the good old times right there. That's the good old times. And why is this not? Why can't I find?
What do you got up on the screen now? Anyway,
this is BTC.
Oh.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I cannot find the actual live stream in the markets here. Do you know why? On
what platform?
I'm looking at X right now.
Just go to me. You'll find it.
Got you. Boom. I'm a little slow there. There we are. Boom. Okay, let's just go ahead and mute that. Love it. Good to see you, Good to see you, Miss Pixie. What's up, Miss Pixie? Okay. Now, I think one of the things that I'm honestly also looking at is which ones, like Sui, like I know somebody who was looking to check out Sui. Boom. is Sui going to take off? Right now, they're at about 13 billion, 12 billion, and they came all the way down to that $5 billion mark. So it was actually a really, really good buy. I felt rude because I thought we were going to come down lower. I told some people, I was like, listen, from my opinion, humble opinion, I think we're going to come down to that 4 billion, potentially that 2 billion area. It did not. It stopped about the 5 billion, and then we're starting to see it go up.
Now, right now, we're at a $13 billion market cap for Sui.
Miss
Sui!
Pixie. Sorry about that, Miss Pixie. I was just quickly typing that. So I love your spelling, Pedro. Never change it. I jacked that thing all up. Oh, that. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead. Sorry about that, Miss Pixie. We'll work on that.
Well, oh, I see this comment.
Yeah.
What's up, Nines Pixie?
Beans Pixie. I was trying to say, what's up, Miss Pixie? Oh, man, that's skill set right there. Skill set. All right. So let's check out, and I know I had this here. So is this the top market cap here? I thought I had already done it. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Boom. There we go. So, like, yeah, we went over this and it came and played. So, boom, boom, play, boom, boom, and we had these little plays here. I honestly thought that we were going to come down into this area, this lower area here. We did come down into our area here. We had two zones, one right here, one right here, and we talked about this lower one on Sui being strong. Right? But I said, if we see BTC come in and kick off, then we should see the Sui come down to that lower level. If it kicks off and starts to sell off, or if it starts to sell off, we should see it really get down to that level. But you can see BTC pushed up and Pixie did a pretty slam and jump here. I think this went from 18 to, yeah, so that'd be 1836. Oh yeah, almost doubled, 100% increase here. And then we're seeing the all-time high here, and they're at 13 billion. So honestly, the next level here is what I'm really looking at. So it blew through this area here, boom, came down, consolidated, pushed up, came here, consolidated. Next level, honestly, is I'm looking at Sui is honestly this. No, but it's like it's tapping right, this tap-a-roo. So it's starting to come off here. I'm looking at Sui. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough.
The old dump button.
Yes. All right. So we've got one spot here for resistance that we could see what's going on. What's going on? Kicking off right here. So I like this area. Boom. We're consolidating here for the last 2 weeks. You can see here, we can see sell volume over the last 2 weeks dropping off. Same thing kind of with the buyer volume, but we're definitely seeing less selling volume and price staying stagnant here. So the next level here is honestly that 513 to all-time high of 537 for Sui, and it could get running again, right? Like this thing could be pumping like it's hot. So there you go. I like that right there. There we go. And if we're going to see it pull back, its pullback level should be about, again, forgive me. Oh man, I've got my special little concoction here. And
known as the mailman's blood.
It's blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, and raspberries, blackberries, strawberries, blueberries, and I think that's it. And then I throw in like, the lemon flavored omega-3s with cinnamon, nutmeg, cardamom, turmeric, and then I also put in creatine and cacao. What was it? The other one? Ritual cacao. Quality
Potions.
Potion dog, just potions. Honestly, if I was lived back in the Middle Ages, they'd probably burn me to be a warlock.
You'd be a witch.
Yeah.
Or you'd be the lead doctor in the whole world. They'd be like, he's got all the potions. Draco says, Sui coming to Lunar Pump Fun. They're going to add that as their chain. Lunar Pump Fun has BNB, Infineon Base, and Sui coming on, I guess.
Sui! There you go, man. Shoot, get in on it as it starts to move, as it goes over there. And then you also have one more area here potentially that we could see popping. And that would be...
Bro, you're an Aztec warrior.
Aztec warrior! You got it! I love it. That's so sweet. Oh, that's cool. No way. She goes, Miss Pixie says, no way. I'm forever and always my
nines, Pixie.
My nines, Pixie. Loud. Dope. All right, there we go. All right, so let's focus here real quick, though. So if we do see a bit of a sell-off, we got these two areas here. We've got the low area right here, right? That is popping like it's hot.
Pop it like it's hot.
Like it's hot. Like it's hot. The roof is on fire. We don't need no stinking. All right. All right, as you can see here, I'm a dork at its fullest. Okay, so I like this area right here. I expect it to kind of come back down to this level. If it does, it may not. It may just stay up at these levels here. But it's still one of those things. Now, this is a perfect level. Remember I talked to you guys about playing that play where we have a wick against a wall, right? And below that wick, typically you have, what do we have? Tom?
Sorry, I was reading his comment. A wick against the wall, it means you have liquidity there, orders.
We have orders at the bottom there. And so you can always take the play, typically. Again, this is if you start to see it trend with you. Okay, don't just jump on here like it's willy-nilly, right? But go back and back test this for yourself. Okay, what I'm talking about. But you can see here, as price comes down into this level, you typically will have prices, or you'll typically have, and you could play this twice, dog. Look at that.
Play it twice, dog. Dog.
Yeah, my dog. Look right here. Boom. Comes up. Boom, you see a shooting star right here. Boom, jump in, put your stop below here. Wait for, you could have done that, or you could have said, all right, we're starting to trend on the 8 or whatever trending mechanism you use, and you could see it just start to push up right there. So it's really interesting. And the same situation happens here at our level here. Comes in, similar situation, we come down, hit that same level again, we start to see it trend up, and boom, this wasn't as strong here, but nice little play that you still could have played. Boom, from this level, from the open all the way up. And you can see it sold off on the open, and then you saw it get going. Get up and go. Shoot, look at that. So those nice little plays are there, and I'm just here to see if I can give my humble opinion to kind of help you guys out, or maybe y'all can give me some skinny one day and I'll be like, dude, that's dopey dope. Nice back test. So, what else? Oh, and looks like I forgot to plug in my
phone.
My battery is about to die because I spent all that time on the phone with that amazing customer service. Yes, it was absolutely amazing. I loved it. I actually started saying, how much fun can I have here? How polite can I be to people so much that they just want to work for me? Like, that guy's so nice. That guy is so nice. I don't know if you saw the thing fly. Did you see the thing fly across the screen
No,
here?
I didn't.
Good. Yes, that was good. I'm glad I did that. I kept dropping this red light therapy thing on the ground because I have it sitting like right here. kind of hit my entire body as I'm sitting there trading, because I sit on I'm trying to learn how to squat really low, bro. Have you seen this big, huge movement on squatting?
All I know is all I'm thinking is you have switched to the squatty potty.
Yeah, I'm trying to get down to that low. That's honestly, that's because, see, here's the thing. For years, and if you go to like many like third world countries, people sit in a squat for hours.
Yeah, and
like it's like, what's up?
I've been to a lot of those countries, and in all of them, people that are 40 years old can't walk anymore. It's just like baseball catchers. That's what they all walk. They're all broken down. Like just pick any old Chinese lady or Indian lady. You see them walk, and it's like, man, she must be 85 years old. Now she's about 39. All busted up knees.
Really?
Pixie says she noticed your red light therapy.
Oh, I forgot to show off the back. Yeah, I do it because I want to, it just helps out your body blood flow while I'm sitting here. Actually helps with focus, so I don't jump off the end and gotta go left and right, but I can stay focused what I'm trying to do. And I'm a huge proponent for like small little subtleties like that can really help. Like, help out with blood flow and helps out with your body.
You're right, Draco. In all those countries, they squat like that because there's no toilet.
Ooh, you are right.
In fact, one of the factories I consulted in Dubai had like 3 Western toilets and 75 just squat holes in the ground.
Are you serious?
Yep. I don't mean like dug in the ground. I mean they were, official places to squat. Hey, you know what? In the 80s, I was in Paris in 1985, and in a restaurant, I went to the bathroom, and I was like, what the hell's going on here? It was a squat. It's like,
That's interesting. I wonder. Now I need to look that up, because they were talking about basically, and all these people were claiming like they had all this mobility from it, and maybe, yeah. Well, I've noticed though that my agility, walking around, moving, is it's just easier. Like my ankles don't hurt as much when I get up.
Well, you're flexing and stretching your
calves.
The tendon that goes down your calf wraps around your ankle, and you got 2 of them. I can't remember what the names of them are. If you stretch those, obviously easier to work. Squatting will stretch them, but squatting will bust up your knees. Anytime you put your knees past 90-degree turn, all you're doing is damaging it. Just ask any baseball catcher.
Well, I'm gonna start messing with that. I mean, but I've noticed like I can move quicker, faster when it comes to like knees, faster when it comes to my agility to move. It's
Diego says, I'm third world, man. I've seen some shit, literally. It's like going to the John at Lollapalooza. You're like, bad stuff going on in there. At least at Lollapalooza, this is the best. All these trans arguments and all this kind of stuff. They said, enough of all that crap. We're not spending extra money in bathrooms. We're just having two bathroom lines. One is the bathrooms for those that stand, and one for sit. And in the stand line, there's 8,000 urinals that you stand at and just pee on and sit. So it just depended on which way you could aim and what you needed to do. All right, I got to take this call. I'm helping my son get his phone back working.
No worries. Let's check out a few of these other micro coins that I've been checking out. BAT. So BAT has been really interesting because you can see here, we saw a bit of the sell-out. This is basic attention token. And this is the token that it actually is correlated with, what's it called? It is here we go. It's right here. Brave, there we are. It is a search engine and kind of like Google system, but it's based really off of the blockchain, how it works, the security aspects behind it's pretty dope. And so you can actually search on Brave, and then Brave actually pays you in basic attention token. Unfortunately, I I've been locked out on them multiple times, and I've actually lost out on tokens and coins based off of and I accumulated quite a bit because I do a lot of searching. And I was actually quite frustrated because I've tried to actually authenticate, but the coin itself, if you just buy it, it's been pretty nice, done pretty decent. So at its low, it's done 10, it's up 10, or it's up 5 cents. But what's interesting is it almost doubled here from April into May. So it's like a 50% growth here. And if you look at the actual peak, the high of this was actually $2. And so looking at that 10 to 15 cents, you potentially have a 10 to 20x or a 1,000 to 2,000% growth here in this bull run, if not seeing it higher. So this is one of the ones that I'm looking at to see kind of what's going to happen here. They do have an AI that works with it as well, that's based off of the blockchain. So they're doing a lot of development there. I do look at the token there, but it's one of those things that you guys could check out. It's one of those ones that I am looking at, my humble opinion. Also, Bone actually did a nice little jump here. Cool. Supply level here, came back down, touch our demand level here, and now we're starting to kind of pick back up. So I want to see more volume coming on Bone, but ultimately I'm watching it, kind of seeing what's happening with the ecosystem of the Shiba Inu ecosystem. We talked about this the other day. Brett's sell-off here was huge, right? It came almost all the way down to the all-time low here, at least on here. And I was actually shocked that it sold off that much. 2 cents. It literally went from 23 cents all the way down to 2 cents area, and now it's making its climb again. We've actually seen it put in some higher highs and higher lows, and we're starting to see some volume kind of step in on it. So definitely, personally, I am picking up some Brett. I think Brett is a good community, not necessarily based off of technicals, but simply because they're going through and I've seen them kind of really hit the rating aspect of things. So they're still strong and they're still pushing this thing. So one of those things I've just been kind of keeping an eye on. The next leg down here, I want to pick up some and then kind of get back in. So either way, I think between that 7 and 4 cent area, I like Brett, just because the massive sell-off that we saw with Brett at 23 cents. So I think it's a good deal that you could potentially get in on.
What was their high there, Pedro?
Like I said, it was 23 cents.
Wow.
Yeah, and it sold off all the way to about 2 cents. Yeah, 2 cents and 200th or 2000th. Oh, was that one too?
Oh yes, Pixie, the perennial. I forget how you pronounce that. Tendons. Important. You don't want to get those cut, and you can't walk.
Oh snap!
I forgot we had a trauma nurse in the house.
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, I've been trying to kind of stretch out my knees. I don't want to be I haven't had kids yet, and I'm in my 40s. So if I do have kids, I want to be able to still run and throw them around, and we'll see what happens. I might have kids at 60, so we'll find out what happens here in the future. I got to make sure she's a trader though. We already talked about that one. All right, next. Let me know if you got to go, brother.
I am gonna. I need to go in about 10 minutes.
All right, perfect. So I've been looking at this H&T here. H&T we've been kind of following here. You can see how they're building a position here, where they're keeping it at a higher low, and they're kind of just putting this base here. So when this system is set up, they're basically finding there's higher time frame SMAs that they're fighting with, right? And they're kind of pushing through them. So you can see here we had the 20 period on the weekly. You can see how we kept hitting it, but now we're above it. So the next one is that 8. So we could most likely see next month come down, then go up and get into that 8 period moving average on helium. Now helium's high. This obviously they kind of changed certain aspects and they had a new contract, but their high for the coin was $50. And so that was last bull run. So I think we'll definitely see Helium probably come and tap that. They still got a great network, got great tech there, and what they're doing is I think it's like sooner or later other companies will be like, this is brilliant, this is absolutely smart. And they have some of the smartest people working on their network there. So I think it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens.
Pedro, you know what today is?
Today's the 22nd.
Today is Bitcoin Pizza Day.
The
Famous $10,000 or 10,000 BTCs that bought 2 pizzas would now be worth $1.1 billion. How about that? Imagine that even the pizza place that they took the Bitcoin and then they changed managers and they forgot about it, and then they found the wallet today. Shit's $1 billion. Huge. Bitcoin Pizza Day. For those of you that don't know, a number of years ago, 15 years ago, on this day, developer Laszlo Heinz paid 10,000 BTC for 2 Papa John's pizzas, then worth roughly $40. I think it was less than that. On May 22nd, 2010, the purchase marked the first recorded commercial transaction using BTC, a turning point that took the asset from cyberpunk code to actual currency. That same BTC, 10,000 BTC, can buy over 70 million pizzas at the current price. 70 million. Huge. Going to be huge, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Huge.
Oh, that's good. It is.
In 2019, he shrugged off the misfortune that the transaction made real. Bitcoin made real to him. He mined the coins back when BTC was under a penny, and few could have predicted the multi-trillion-dollar asset that it would become. It's amazing. It's Pizza Day. You know what? That reminds me, Mrs. Striking and I are going to be having pizza for dinner tonight.
Nice. Sounds fun. What type of pizza are you going to have, my friend?
We have at the Italian store down the street, they sell... you can make your own pizza from scratch. But what we do is they go ahead and rise the dough and make the crust, and they cook it just like for a minute under high heat just to give it a little strength.
Yeah.
And so it still needs, a good 7-8 minutes at 600 degrees. And so you buy that frozen. They make a bunch of them in the morning. They put in the freezer, and you buy all your ingredients and whatever you want. And it's perfect. I usually like to get some Italian sausage and chop it up and crumble it, and then fry it up, and so it comes in little pieces. I like that. Sometimes a little pepperoni. Mrs. likes all the other crap on it, like olives and onions and all that shit that gets in the way of having a good pizza.
That's funny. A little take and bake never hurt nobody, man. That's what it was called back in the day, right?
Take and bake. I don't know, but it's an actual Italian store. Like all the people are from Italy there, and it's fantastic. It's just a fantastic store, and I can walk to it, so I don't have to drive to the store. Just walk right over to the joint. And they sell wine too, and they have a deli counter, all Italian meats and stuff. It's just fantastic. It's fantastic. But I got to get running here, Pedro.
Alrighty. Well, let me finish off here with Helium and ICP here quick, and then we'll get out of your hair.
ICP, Internet Computer.
All right. Well, I'm finishing up Helium, and then we'll go to ICP. So Helium, as you can see here, is creating a position here. And we're basically, you can see here, it's kind of chilling. So what we want to see is literally a huge volume up candle. Now, if you're looking to get in at this level, I would say kind of wait for a bit of a sell-off. But because we have the 200 period moving average right here, we have the 800 period moving average right here. So that's this level, as you can see. This is the 400, and then the pink one is the 200. So we should hit it, see some type of resistance, come back down into this level, and be able to get purchase if you're looking to purchase. I know that I'm looking for it to go up. In my opinion, it'll come back down. ICP is kind of in a similar situation, but instead of with the 200 period and 400, we're actually playing off of the 100 and 89 period moving average. On the monthly chart, again, because we're coming up to the end of the month here, you can see here that it's playing at this level. And so you can see we're finding support on the weekly with that 8 period moving average, and potentially coming back up and tapping that $6.37 area here. And so this could act as some type of resistance right at this level. As you can see, that's the price there. In addition to it, we're also finding support, and we're seeing buyer wicks at these lower levels here. Again, you could have played this play here as it went down first, right? With, here's a wick against the wall. The new week opens up, and we'll make that into a weekly. There it goes. And then we can come right here and into that daily. You can see at the beginning of the week on Sunday, we came down, tapped this area, or actually on Monday, we tapped this area right here, and then we went up. And so again, that's another play you can be playing. Again, you just don't jump in on those. You make sure that you see the actual transactions happening before we continue up. But you can play daily and weekly areas based off of that movement there. Basically one giant wick, or excuse me, one giant candle, and then a wick on that candle. When it hits below that area, you can typically capture a move there. Alrighty, so that's it in a nutshell. But
Pedro, on Internet Computer, I noticed even though it's down towards its lows, or local, regional lows, however you want to call it, it's still a $3 billion market cap. Much larger than I thought. You've covered this a number of times, and I don't recall my mind registering the size of Internet Computer. Yeah, look at that. Yeah. What was their market cap back then? My God.
Yeah, they were quite a big guy there. I don't know if this was a mistake in the launch of it. Probably was, but they restructured it, right?
Still, even if you take that first two candles out, where your zone is up there, what's that price there?
$86.
Yeah, that's 18 times where we are now. So 18 times 3 million, that's a $57 billion market cap. Or more than that. I don't know. My math is hazy here today. Wordy.
Lordy woody. Got drunk off that water bottle. But anybody know that Eminem song? But ultimately, I like it where it's sitting. It does got resistance that we're gonna have to fight through, but we're at a pretty good low level. If you're looking to get in on it next month, remember it's gonna put in the demand wick along with the supply wick. So if we see it go down first at the beginning of the month, right, that's what we want to get in on. You'll see it kind of maybe do this type of movement. And first we'll go up, then come down, and then go up. Or it may just go down and then come up like this. So it's always one of those things we could see. All right, my friend. Thank you guys for coming in. Again, are we going to be on tomorrow?
Yeah, we go tomorrow.
All right, excellent, guys. Please come, hang out, talk, ask questions. You guys over on Rumble. I'm shocked, man. Y'all, I feel like they did us dirty. Something happened, man. So maybe it was that thumbs down. Maybe that's what it was.
Well, I think if thumbs down stopped the algorithm, then people would be intentionally thumbs downing everybody else. They get used to, and then they quickly realize that people would scam them. Why doesn't my Bitcoin price reach? Oh my God, it's about to go back to $112,000 on the spot.
Let's check it out here real quick before we leave.
Alrighty.
Man, look at that. It's nice. Nice. Good volume. Okay. You can see that the hour 8 is where it's finding support. You can see it's come down now a couple times and tap that. And expecting it to continue up, honestly. You want to wait for the next hour. You could basically see that it most likely is going to come down So for me, I would look at this area, potentially looking to buy in at.
It's behind my head. Which area were you looking at?
Right here. Give me 1 second. So it would really be this area here that I'd be looking at to get in. It'd be that 111, 420 to the 111, 290 area. If we see the close over the next 15 minutes, close around this area here that we're at right now, I would expect to see it come back down to that level. Now we're also finishing up the day, so we potentially could see some 11:1 is when it closes, so we have 2 hours. Yeah, this area might potentially be the area that you want to kind of capture it.
I think we're gonna have another interesting night here on the Asia Open.
Yeah, and listen, you can see increase in volume going on right now. We're seeing increase in people interest there. So I'll check 5 minutes. I don't like those seller wicks there. I'd rather have it kind of look like this before it starts to do that. 15 minute, 5 minute. Yeah, that 30 minute, be paying attention to the 30 minute, pulling back down over the next maybe 30 minutes, coming back down to here, to that 30 minute area. That's going to be that 1139-ish area. You can see there. Remember, always be paying attention to your trending mechanism and make sure that you write down your trades so that you can go back and say, okay, this is what I was looking at. This is my opinion. This is not financial advice. And I just share with what I think is going to be interesting for you guys to look at, what I would potentially look at and take.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from the master.
Don't call me master. Because I can get sued. This is just an opinion of mine. And it's not financial advice. It's educational and social purposes only.
Only. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a show for you today. Thanks for joining. Thanks everyone that came out on all the many different platforms that we were on, especially Miss Pixie and the ladies of Solana watching over on X. Thank you very much. We really appreciate the X love. We'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, Pedro? Same bat channel, same bat time. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the man in the box next to me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst, co-host of the show. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. Hosted another wonderful episode of this show, DYOR Live. We will see you tomorrow.
See you guys.